In hockey, movement is a major key to success. Being in the right place at the right time will lead to more scoring opportunities, which will, in turn, lead to more goals. There are a handful of methods to gain speed in different directions: backwards crossovers, backwards corkscrews, crossovers, and simply strides. For this project, I will be explaining the biomechanics behind the most basic skating form, striding. Similarly to running, striding is a full body maneuver that does favor the lower extremities. Moving on to the preparatory phase, to begin, we will start in a neutral standing position. Our shoulders are depressed and retracted through the activation of our trapezius, rhomboid major, and rhomboid minor for the retraction, and our pectoralis minor, subclavius, and trapezius once again for the depression of our scapula. And although we have not begun moving, our body is already hard at work to keep ourselves balanced. Our core muscles, the rectus abdominis, transversus abdominis, internal and external obliques are activated to keep our trunks stable, and our ankles are hard at work to keep us balanced on our skates blades, utilizing our posterior and anterior tibialis, as well as both the peroneus brevis and peroneus longus. Next, we will hunker down into a slightly squatted position, flexing at the knee and hip joint, activating our quadriceps muscle group at the knee, the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius, and our gluteus maximus is engaged at the hip to keep us stabled in this lowered position. Additionally, our squat places us into ankle dorsiflexion, and we are kept stable in this position through the activation of our tibialis anterior. Now, I understand that sounds somewhat counterintuitive to these muscles' actual activation, as we know that the quads do not flex at the knee joint but extend. However, in this position, they are bearing the weight of our body to keep us from going into the full flexion at the knee joint, which is what causes them to be engaged. The same is the case for our glutes, despite our hip also being in a flexed position. Our elbows and shoulders are flexed using our brachialis, brachioradialis, and biceps brachii at the elbow joint, and our pectoralis major, anterior deltoid, long head of the biceps brachii, and the coracobrachialis at the shoulder joint. Additionally, our hands are facing each other as they stay in front of us. Moving on to the execution phase, we generate force by extending our knee and extending, abducting, and externally rotating our hip into the ice to have our blade edge push us forward. Our knee extends via the use of our quadriceps muscles, while our hip extends, abducts, and externally rotates using our gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, hamstrings, and adductor magnus to perform the flexion and rotation of the hip, while our gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and tensor fasciae latae abducts the hip. Our extended leg's ankle momentarily relaxes as it comes out of dorsiflexion. Our trunk stabilizes and rotates slightly using our rectus abdominis, transversus abdominis, external and internal obliques. As our leg and hip extends behind us, our shoulder on the same side flexes forward, using our shoulder muscles to help us gain momentum during our strides. Now, on the left side of our body, we have to keep in mind that our knee, hip, shoulder, and ankle all remain flexed and are focused on stabilizing, while the right side of the body moves through the motion of the stride. Onto the follow through phase. For the recovery portion of the stride, our extended leg is retracted by having the hip flex, medially rotate, and adduct through the use of the psoas major, adductor brevis, and adductor longus, iliacus, sartorius, and rectus femoris for the flexion movement, and the gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and tensor fasciae latae for the medial rotation, as well as the activation of the adductor group, gracilis, and pectineus for the adduction movement of the hip. As the knee flexes, this time using our semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris, sartorius, gracilis, and gastrocnemius, and then quickly extended to place our skate back on the ice, utilizing the quadriceps. As the leg is placed beneath us, our ankles are placed back into dorsiflexion from our tibialis anterior. At the same time, our flex shoulder extends back with the assistance of our latissimus dorsi, deltoid, teres major, and long head of the triceps. and our core rotates to face forward via our obliques. As we begin to shift our weight to the other side, returning us to the beginning of our execution phase once more. From here, we are able to repeat the cycle of movements, alternating sides as we stride up along the ice. In all, the hockey stride is a fundamental movement that requires proper focus and coordination through the entire body in order to functionally work. Each phase of this movement is pivotal in not only generating force as the skater races up the ice, but also creating stability as the skater gains speed. A clear understanding of the biomechanics behind the movement is core in ensuring that each step of the movement is completed precisely and allows for growth towards the more complex movements capable on the ice.